Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to discuss about Laravel migrations. So Laravel migration is a kind of version control system for creating the database tables. So let's say we want to share our code with someone else, or different team members are working on the same project. So we will just create the migrations one time and we will share it with all of them, and they will just migrate and create all of the tables. So Laravel provides us some migrations by default. So if we go to the database folder, and here in the database folder we have the migrations folder. So Laravel provide us these migrations by default. So user table. So this will be a user table, then the password reset, and the failed jobs and personal access tokens. So let's say if I open this user table. So migration has two methods. So one is this up method, the other one is the down method. So in the up method, we say there is a schema to create. So we will create a table that is called users. So name of the table will be users. And what will this table include? So the blueprint of this table will be this thing. So it will have an ID, a name which is a string, an email which is a string but unique, and we email verified it, which is a nullable with which is a timestamp, and similarly we have a password which is a string. Now we have a remember token. So when you log in, the Laravel will create this remember token, but when you log out, Laravel will change it. So if someone steal your session cookie, they will not be able to use your session because this token has been changed. And timestamps. So this will create two fields, created it and updated it. So these will be the fields of this table. Now we have a down method. So it will check if the user table exists. So it will drop it. So let's migrate. But first we need to define a database to the Laravel application, so that this is our database. So where can we do that? So here if we come to the env file, so .env, if we open it, there are different things mentioned in this file, and one of them here is the database connection. The database connection is MySQL. So we will be using MySQL, so no need to change it. The name of the database is Laravel. So let's say we write here my past project. So this will be our database name, and root is the default username. So we don't need to change it, and there is no password. Now, if we come here to the localhost PHP my admin, so here you can create a new database and with your any name. But let's say we don't create a database and just run the migration. So what will happen? We will just write PHP artisan migrate, and now it says that this database that with this name does not exist. So do you want to create it? And I will say yes, I want to create it. So yes, and now let me close this file. So all of the migrations has been created. So creating migration tables, and all of the migrations are created. So now if we go there and refresh, here you can see my past project, and if I open it, it has all of these tables. So users personal access token, password receipt migrations and failed jobs. So let me open this user table. So it has all of these field names. So ID, name, email verified, password, remember token, created and updated. So these are all the fields of this table now. And then we have this migration tables. So this migration tables, you can see each time when we migrate, you will see all of the tables which are migrated and that migration when we execute it. So this time we created all of these tables which is with the batch 1. So you will understand this just in a few seconds. So let's create our own migration. So how can we do that? So let's create our own migration. So we will say PHP artisan make migration. We will create a migration. So we need to name the migration. And as you can see that this migration's name follow a specific pattern. So create user table, create password, and there is a underscore in space. So you will follow the same convention. So create underscore post and the name of the table is plural. So this is Laravel convention. So create post table and press enter. So we will say now the migration has been created successfully. So now let's check this. So you can see by default it provided us some code. So it says create a table post and this has an ID and timestamps. So and here in the down method it says schema drop if exist. So we will drop this folder if it exists. So now here I will write some fields. So dollar table string and let's say title of the post. So title. Now then we need a slug. So that will also be a string. So slug. And now we need to write dollar table. So description of the post or body of the post, whatever you like. So let's say text and I will say body of the post. So now these are the fields of our table. So ID titles like body and timestamp. So times will be created it and updated it. So now let's migrate again. So PHP artisan migrate. And now you can see this time it only executed this one migration because all of the migration were run before. So only this one was the remaining. This one was the new one. So that's why this one has been executed only. And now if we come here, refresh, and you can see the post table. So the post table with the ID, title, slug, and body created it and updated it. And if we come here to the migrations, now you can see we have the post table with the batch 2. So now this was the second time that we have executed the migrations and it created only one table. So only this table. So this is an batch 2. So when we run the migration, Laravel knew that all of these tables has been already created, so it only created this one. So now, how can we delete this? So PHP artisan migrate roll back. So if we roll back, so it will roll back the last migration only. So the last batch only, and the last batch has only one table. Only the last table will be this table will be deleted. So if this last migration that we run, it has 5 tables, then the last 5 tables included in that batch will be deleted. So let's run this. So only this table has been deleted. Roll back to why? Because this batch has only this one table. So now let's refresh it and this table is gone. So it's not here anymore. Now let's migrate it again. So PHP artisan migrate. And you can see only this table has been migrated again. And now refresh again. You can see the same thing. In this way we can roll back. Now let's say we want to delete these last 2 tables. So how can we do that? We will say PHP artisan migrate roll back, and we will use step. So the step flag and step will be equal to 2. So we are deleting the last 2 tables. Doesn't matter to which batch set belongs. So we will run it, and now the last 2 tables has been deleted. Now you can see. Now let's refresh, and you can see the last 2 tables are gone. So they are not here anymore. So now let's migrate them again. So PHP artisan migrate, and now you can see 2 tables has been migrated because 2 tables were not there. Now if I refresh it, so now 2 tables are created which both belongs to batch 2. Now this time if I roll back, so PHP artisan migrate roll back. So these 2 tables are gone now. Why? Because these 2 tables belongs to this batch, to the last migration. So now let's refresh this. You can see 2 tables are gone. Okay, now let's migrate again. So PHP artisan migrate. The tables are here now. Now what we can do if we want to just delete some batch. So how can we do that? So let's say PHP artisan migrate rollback, and here we will provide the flag. So dash batch, and batch will be equal to, let's say, 1. So we want to delete all of the tables of batch 1. So now all of those batch 1 tables are gone. So now if I refresh it, you can see only batch 2 tables are here and batch 1 is gone. So now let's refresh again. So PHP artisan migrate, and now if I refresh, all of the tables are here now, but they are in batch 3 now. So in this way you can play around with the tables and delete some specific tables and add tables. So now Let's say we want to add a column to this post table. So how can we do that? Let's say we want to say this post should belong to a user. So we need a user ID here. So dollar table, and let's say integer or whatever it is, string or unsigned big integer. So for foreign IDs we need unsigned big integer, so that it don't contain negative numbers, only positive numbers. So let's say unsigned big integer user ID. So this will at the moment not take any effect, and not even this field will be created. So let's again migrate. So PHP artisan migrate, nothing to migrate. And if we change check it here, so nothing is here. Why? Because it migrated already this table, so I don't know about this change that we have made here. So what can we do here is, let's remove this. We will create another migration. So PHP artisan make migration, and now this time we are not creating a table, so we are adding a column to a table. So we will say add, and the column is user ID to user ID column to post table. And here now we will provide a flag, so the flag will be table. So we are not creating a table, but we are adding a column to a table. So now press enter. The migration has been created, and add user. So now let open it. So this time you see, due to this flag, it says schema table. So take the table post and do something with it. But if we look here to this one, it says create. So we are creating a post table. But in this one, due to this flag, we say take this post table and add something to it. So here we will say dollar table inside being a teacher. And now let's migrate. So PHP artisan migrate. Now this has been migrated. And if I refresh it now, you can see the user ID here. And if we check the migrations, this one is in batch 4 now. So now let's go back to the post table. And now we don't want this user ID here at the end. We want it here in the middle of the body and slug. So after the slug. So how can we do that? You can do that. So after slug, the name of the column. So after slug. But we need to drop this first. If we don't drop it, then this will not work. So here we need to write something here before dropping it. So here we will say dollar table drop column. So this is not foreign key yet. So we will drop it as a column. So but when it is a foreign key, then we will drop it as a parent key. So drop column And the name of the column is user ID. So now if we roll back PHP artisan, migrate, roll back. And now this migration has been run. And now let's check it. So refresh. Now that column has gone and it's not there anymore. So this time we need to use it after the slug, and it should be a foreign ID. So how can we do that? So the simple thing here is, here we can write foreign ID, foreign ID, and here we will write it the constraint. So here we can provide the table name, so like user class and the name of the ID. But we are following the Laravel convention, so we don't need to provide anything here. So it will by default know at which table it is. So now if we run it, the PHP artisan migrate, and now let's check it. So first the user ID is after the slug, and if we go to the structure, here you can see the first user ID is a foreign key, and here you can see it is a foreign key. So in this way you can add columns to a table and drop columns from the table. And now if we come here to the database and see here the designer, so this is the post table and this is the user table. So this user ID is a foreign key now, and you can see it. So that's how we can create migrations, add columns to it and drop it. Now there is another way. So if I comment this, here we can say table and unsigned big integer and user ID and after slug. So we are just creating it like this, but here we can write dollar table in foreign. So there will be a field called user ID. This field will be a foreign ID, and where this will be, so reference is ID. So it references the ID on which table. So on users. So we are saying is that we have foreign ID, that is the user ID column, which references the ID and the user table. So this one and this one, they are the same thing, and do the same thing. So use whichever you like, this one or this one. And here if we drop it, now this is a foreign ID, not a simple column. So how can we drop it? So here we will say drop constraint foreign ID in the user ID. So that's how we can drop a foreign ID column. And now if we look at the tables, we have the ID. So we have this one. So now let's roll back the PHP artisan, migrate, roll back. Okay, I made a spell mistake. So roll back. And now if we check it, we don't have any ID and no foreign key. So that's how you can create migrations, add columns to it, add foreign keys, and drop foreign keys, etc. So that's all about migrations, and see you in the next video.